They give you these little aerial enemies because we're playing as Barret and he's got decent range, obviously.
Yeah.
But these bugaboos have so little health, they die really fast, both to overcharge and to maximum fury. You can make pretty quick work of them.
Gotta go find Wedge. Come on.
Because his overcharge move, like if it kills an enemy, it moves on to the next one. And he can kill one of those things from full health before the final shot of overcharge.
Okay.
So you can get a couple of bugs with just that one move.
I'm afraid to ask, but did you just shoot your way in here?
Well, yeah.
Why are you afraid to ask?
Worked, didn't it?
Wah, wah. It was comedy. It was comedy, Aidan.
I see.
Ooh, gotta love it. Bring in the heat.
Bring in the heat.
Yeah, so obviously we've got Tifa in the party, and now we could use her a bit more, but for these fights I don't really need to because Barret's got ice elemental stuff on.
Yep.
He's kind of getting punched around a little bit, and also we haven't used it in a little while, but that's his deadly dodge. If you don't remember, like you roll forward and he sweeps his gun in front of him. There's a bunch of little explosions. I gave him deadly dodge again because we're gonna use it in an upcoming fight to our great advantage.
Okay.
You would say that.
Anyway, there's only one way through its actual progression, but we can shoot these other two fans to get a couple of trinkets. I'm trying my best to ignore the boxes, but these boxes are often like a bespoke room all by themselves, so they must have something other than one Mako shard in them, right? Also because we're not going to get an opportunity to shoot boxes as Barret again, and hey, may as well.
Ever?
I'm trying to remember if we ever, I don't think there's another segment where we're playing as Barret out of combat in this game. There is in part 2.
Okay.
There are a couple in part 2,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure this is the last time we're going to play as Barret outside of combat.
That's a while.
First and last time we're going to play as
That's
Barret
wild.
outside of combat. It's mostly just Cloud. We only did Aerith. We've done Aerith for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We did her while we were in Corneo's mansion, and it was girl hangout time.
Yep.
Girl best friends. And we played as Aerith to walk out to the pump mini game and then walk back in.
Yeah.
And we played as Aerith for whatchamacallit, running through Sector 7, saving Betty, and trying to get to Marlene.
Yep.
There was supposed to be a chapter, or like a section of a chapter, where we played as Tifa, finding out about Corneo's shenanigans and getting ready for that, but like I said previously, that got cut.
Imagine if they'd funded that
Instead of the Sector 7 slum bit, yeah, that we just went through. Yeah. I will say one thing, because there were people who complained, like, man, they could have covered way more ground in part 1 if they had just cut stuff, like if they'd made, like, the hanging from the scaffolding dungeon shorter, or if they had cut the secret lab or whatever, and I'm like, you have to go so far after leaving Midgar to get to an appropriate stopping point.
Yeah.
Like, there was no amount of trimming they could have done from this while still, like, maintaining this level of fidelity.
Yeah.
That they could have, like, been like, okay, and we're going to leave Midgar and do a reasonable amount of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation for when we get to the end of the game. Anyway, now we're actually going to use Tifa a little bit because she has thunder
Also,
magic.
from a design standpoint, like, and this may be my very limited knowledge here, but if you're saying leave Midgar, that's a whole lot of sets you gotta build
Yes.
for us to go other places.
That's correct.
And that costs money.
Yep.
And it takes
that's
time.
precisely what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's no amount of trimming that would have like spawned an additional video game.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, I think hopefully those people aren't saying that anymore now that Rebirth is out, because Rebirth is like a full-on open world game.
Cool.
And it's like ludicrously polished and feature-rich, and it would not have been that way if they were just trying to staple a section of it onto the ending of this game.
Right, yeah.
Cool.
Well, glad it worked out.
Yeah.
If it had come out and been poop.
Yeah, then
like,
maybe there would have been a different argument to be had. Yeah. So far, I think the 3-part structure is paying off. You can make arguments about part 1 and part 2. There's going to be 3 parts total.
Okay, I missed that memo, but that's fine.
I feel like I told you a while ago, but it's not a big deal. They initially just said it was going to be in parts, and I and a lot of other people guessed 3 parts, because if you start thinking about how to break this game down and how much it's going to cost, like that kind of makes you're like, okay, dramatic stopping point. Well, or they said the first game would just be in Midgar, so then you go, okay, well, what's the next dramatic stopping point? And it's here, and then what's the next dramatic stopping point after that? The ending of the game.
Yeah.
And they announced that it was going to be 3 parts when they announced the title for part 2.
Gotcha.
Which was a year or 2 ago now.
Holding up okay?
Of course he is. He's a lot tougher than people think. Probably sleeping soundly, dreaming about his cats.
You're right. We should treat him to a nice meal when he gets back. His choice.
Those guys are
Yeah, we fought a couple of
demon shrimp.
we fought a couple of these guys in the tunnels on the way over here, but we were talking about Taylor Swift.
I see.
That's one of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends right there, according to I'm sure her fans or her or whatever. Again, I don't know any of this shit. Blissfully ignorant. Anyway, I hate putting you on the spot, Aidan. I almost called you Aerith. And asking you, I think that's the second time I've almost called you Aerith in the course of this playthrough. I hate putting you on the spot and like asking you to be an art critic for a thing that you're like still watching while it's like we're not even paused, like while it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
But just like I want to get a bit of your read again on like the I don't want to be leading, but just like, you know, are you enjoying this?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's being dramatically effective? It's just as simple as that, honestly.
This like, we saw Wedge and now we have to go through a dungeon. I don't know if that specifically is doing it for me. Like, we could have just gotten Wedge.
Also, by the way,
But-
this Maximum Fury is going to kill almost all these guys in one blast. But continue. It didn't actually, because I locked onto the wrong guy. I forgot. In this take, this is the best take that I got, but in this one take, he didn't kill them all in one go on accident. Continue, sorry.
On accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that it's like
Gotta stay on my toes if I'm gonna
this
make it out of here alive.
specifically is working for me, but I'm definitely not having the issue of like one person made it out of
Yeah.
Sector 7,
That's-
so now I have to hate this video game.
There's an area there where I think again it's like it was a way before, so now there's a comparison happening that maybe isn't
Yeah.
entirely fair. But just like more broadly than even that, like hey, you hate the Shinra Electric Power Company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry if these seem like condescending questions.
No.
But I just
And I think even like in a slightly more nuanced way, like realizing that probably like a lot of other corporate structures, the like Shinra middle manager on the train has
nothing
idea.
to do with any of this.
Yeah, nothing to not only nothing to do, but like isn't even just willfully ignorant about it. Like he truly has no idea.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like a lot of the time in video games when you establish a really big bad, like it's a big bad organization and everyone in the organization is bad.
Yes. There is an interesting thing in this where we have Cloud, who is an ex-soldier who hates the company and thinks they're bad guys, but he only fleetingly, but he occasionally goes to bat, like for Barrett being like, what the hell are those guys doing here? Probably their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, move on. Like
Yeah.
they're following orders. Like sure, you can go. You should all quit. You should all leave.
Yep.
But that's kind of it's a tall order for some people.
Yeah.
And
He looked kind of rough.
he does look pretty rough. To be fair, apparently
We just need all of the cats to come up and like breathe on him and pull a Catwoman, and he'll be fine.
Oh, exactly like that. Yeah. and then we all play basketball. Oh, that reminds me. There was the basketball mini game in the original game, and it's not in Rebirth. Ah, damn. They missed opportunity there.
Thank God.
There's a bit in the original game where you go to basically like an arcade and you can do one of those like I'm gonna shoot some hoops in this machine, and that's not in. They didn't put that in Rebirth.
Good.
I changed my mind. I don't like Rebirth anymore.
Sure.
We picking him up and carrying him
Mm-hmm.
like a sack of taters. Where'd Cloud go?
Cloud's somewhere else in this facility. We haven't run back into him yet.
Okay,
He fell in the same hole as we did, but we somehow all wound up in totally different places.
Perfect.
We didn't see the part where all three of us fell into 3 different slides
What is
I
this?
see.
that took us to different parts of this underground facility.
Barrett!
Tifa?
The hell is this now?
Ew.
Icky. Gross.
Yuck. Oh, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, so this is technically a boss fight, but it initially starts as a mob fight.
They look like fishy venoms.
Fishy venoms. Yeah, they do. They're not gonna know what hit them. So speaking of not knowing what hit them, these guys are weak to ice. And they don't like it when you. Not only do they not like it when you roll and do Barrett's deadly dodge, it fills Barrett's ATB gauge really, really fast.
Ooh, yeah, it did.
Because you'll hit like, because they're so clumped up, you're gonna hit like 4 or 5 of them at once sometimes.
Yeah.
Watch his gauge. And I'm only hitting a couple at one time here.
Jeez, dude.
If they're all clumped up together, you can fill both of his gauges in like 2 or 3 swipes.
Wow.
And then you just got if you got the right weapon equipped, you've got maximum fury, which is also elemental affinity to do extra damage to these guys.
Jeez.
And Tifa, we got Star Shower for her to fight a bunch of clumped up enemies and do big damage.
Whoop.
This is a fight where it's easy to get bodied because there are so many of them and they can be a little bit hard to handle. But you can also totally destroy them if you know how to. If you're set up with both of them.
If you're spec'd right.
If both of them are set up with ice magic, Barrett's got ice elemental and can be hitting a bunch of them with his big attacks.
You could?
I don't know what it is.
Uh-huh.
This is absolutely a me thing, and I'm owning that. Whatever it is that's coming out of their back is making them infinitely more icky.
It is an appendage, because later on we're going to fight a big one, and it's a discrete part, and it's just called appendage.
Oh, that's worse than anything I could have called it.
Also, reminder, since I just did it there, if there are enemies clumped up, spells do have a very limited AoE. I shot a Blizzara at one of these guys, and there's a second guy standing close enough to him that it killed both of them.
Oh
in
my
one go.
gosh, there's more of them. Jeez.
Okay, cover me.
They're icky.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. They're slimy, and they're gross, and I don't like them. Barrett, you could have waited like a second for the covering fire, but I guess he's just that accurate. We don't have to worry about him accidentally shooting Tifa.
Oh, is this the big boy?
This is the big one.
Yikes. Oh, no! Oh, wow, we're so coordinated. Uh-oh.
What these guys look like is they look like this season's Kamen Rider or Power Rangers villains or whatever. That's what they look like. They look like the freak. They look like whatever the grunts are of insert season of oh god, I'm blanking on the name. What's the name for the genre of those types of things? Sentai? Am I crazy? I'm totally blanking.
I
God.
think that's quite right.
Good job, Jacob. Wow. Good way to start that joke and then totally lose it.
Seriously? Cool off.
Heck, what are those called?
Damn it. Where's my phone? So this dude is pretty difficult to harm, but if you destroy his appendage, then his heart is exposed, and it is a weak point, and he takes
failed
much bigger damage.
experiment.
Yep.
I don't know that I'd call it failed.
Well, it depends on what your objectives were.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Staggered, and he falls over, and we've switched to Tifa, who's too far away to do anything. Is that intentional? Like having
when he's standing up, you can punch him as Tifa. I switched over and he was already fallen over, so Tifa couldn't hit him. That was a mistake on my part. I didn't use Tifa appropriately during that sequence.
I see.
But this is still way better than the other take I had.
Oh, it's a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's got a bunch of stuff he can do here, which I do not successfully counter, but again, still better than the other take I had, and I didn't have time for a third one.
Oh, it was human once. Disgusting.
Ice spells rapidly fill the stagger gauge. Physical attacks and other spells don't do that much to it. But the main important thing here is he's picking up other ones. We saw him do this in the previous phase. He's picking up the little guys with his appendages and throwing them at us. He's also going to do a move in a little bit here where one of his friends is going to shoot thunder at him and heal him. He's gonna like kind of bend over, and one of his friends will shoot a thunder spell at him, and that'll heal him. You can interrupt that if you can hit the lesser guy with a big enough attack.
Okay.
But the couple times that it happened, I was either A, not paying enough attention, or B, didn't have the ATB to stop it.
I see.
He can also cast immunity to physical damage on his friends, which can be a real problem. Barrett's attacks technically do magical damage right now because he has elemental materia on. Right here, Energize and Thundaga that heals him and ups his attack power, I think. Maybe he doesn't have attack power, I don't remember. So Barrett can shoot the guys when they've got the physical immunity, but it just is chip damage.
Give him a show.
So we're gonna get some other help in here.
And she's gonna be all elemental,
Yep,
right?
that's correct, and all ice elemental, which they're all weak to it. They don't like her very much. Yeah, so not much else to say about the mechanics of this fight. You want to take out the appendage to expose his heart. You want to be hitting him with ice magic. I didn't play this fight super well, but like I said, my other take was even worse, and I didn't have time for a third take. So really not that much else to say about the fight from here on out. So back to our broader discussion of the game.
Yeah.
This is a pretty short dungeon, so I don't really mind it. It's kind of padding. Yeah, it's just more like Shinra's evil. Because we're about to, like, the description already said it, but we're going to see in the cutscene following this. Yeah, these are all the results of human experiments.
Oh.
So, bad. Shinra bad. We know they're bad.
Yeah.
Not that that's bad. Not that it's bad to remind us that they're bad and to show us all the ways that they're bad.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. And the fact that Shinra is doing human experiments is in fact pretty important to plot stuff.
Okay.
Like these particular experiments aren't important, but the fact that Shinra is doing mad science is important.
I mean, okay, well, there's also a difference between mad science and human experiments, because I was gonna say, we kind of have to assume that they've been doing human experiments.
Sure, I guess, yeah, in order to have soldiers.
Right.
Yes, but I guess my point is, like, I think that in order to produce that thing we're looking at right now, there has to be a little bit of madness in the science.
Yes, yeah. So that's kind of why I say, like, we have to know that they were doing stuff on humans, because we're playing as one.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not what they did to Cloud.
No, it's not.
And I mean, granted, for all we know, that could be the early stages of soldiers.
Who knows?
But
anyway,
they had to do some stuff to get to the killing cold mercenary.
Both of us have limit breaks, and also Shiva's is going to expire in 2 seconds.
Marvelous. Pew 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 pew. She's so pretty.
She's pretty pretty. Anyway, major overkill on that guy. He didn't stand a chance. See you later.
I don't know why. We've seen her do that before, but for some reason I was like, is she about to shush us like they keep doing? What is up with that?
You mean Aerith shushing Marlene in the last episode? Or maybe maybe 2 episodes ago now?
And then Sung shushed us too, didn't he?
Yeah, that was, I don't know what was up with that one. I think he was just being dramatic. Like you are about to be. He said like threats to public security, like have to be put down. That's the job of the Turks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think he was like saying, and it's like the end of the story for you guys or something like
And
that.
that's on period.
Yeah.
Just as the kids say now. There's a lot of Zoomer slang that I'm just missing. I'm hitting that like, uh-oh, am I old?
Anyway, so even though Cloud was not in that boss fight and did not help at all, he had to show up to get the killing blow.
And say a cool line.
He has to remind us that he is in fact the hero of the story. He can't let Barrett get in the killing blow. Otherwise, how else is he going to earn his paycheck?
Yeah, I expected a joke about, like, Cloud payment's gonna be a little late or something. Oh, I hate that. I immediately dislike whatever we're looking at. That triggers my, like, is it Uncanny Valley, I think, that people
Yeah, a
talk
little
about?
bit, yeah. That weird ashen suggestion of a human.
Big displeasure.
I think Cloud's experiencing
Cloud?
similar displeasure.
He's experiencing flashbacks. We've covered this. So I was kind of wondering if those were like souls of people killed by the planet or whatever.
Yeah, that was one of your pitches earlier on. Yeah.
Yeah. Not killed by the planet, but like killed.
So, sorry, had returned to the planet.
Yeah. Or not returned to.
You were discussing it when we first met Aerith, as like she seems to be, she's tending to the flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps these guys are of the planet somehow, so they like her, and that's why they're helping her. I remember you talking about this.
We need to get him somewhere
It was nice of them
safe.
to deposit us back out here in this plot
Everything
hole.
else can wait until after.
Agreed. Let's go.
The city, the town, I mean.
What are you looking at?
I think
Cloud?
he's thinking about what he saw down there.
I see. And we're taking a cat
Cloud.
too.
Yeah.
Why are you holding it like that?
That's not how you hold a cat?
Good kitty.
No. If I held Bean like that, I would be injured.
Uh-huh.
It's the tail is what's incorrect. Holding it like by the butt like that. I don't know. Bean would not stand for it.
I want you
Sprout's
to
too
take
little,
Wedge back for me.
but
I'm gonna look around for the others.
Bean
He
wouldn't
made
take
didn't
it.
They could still be alive.
They were dead before the plate collapsed.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to be straight with Barrett.
I saw them both at the pillar. Jesse and Biggs. Saw how bad they were hurt. I'm sorry, but
Don't.
They've returned to the planet.
So is that just like a common euphemism? Is it not super weird that Aerith said it?
Well,
Or are
that's-
they saying it because we heard that Aerith said it?
I think that this is something that
They were supposed to return to us.
I think Barrett and Tifa are bought in on it. Earlier when it was mentioned,
But if we
Jesse
stop now, they'll never let us live it down.
Jesse was reading planetology books after what happened to her dad, and that was part of what led her to Avalanche in the first place. I think they all
So,
have some beliefs about that. I
Okay.
mean, that's why they're blowing up the reactors, because
Right,
they
right.
think Mako is the life stream. I mean, this is a fantasy game. They're probably right. I shouldn't say they think,
Right.
like it's a conspiracy theory. But yeah, no, they
I guess I'm more. How much are we supposed to interpret that as religion?
it's a
Because
little
they
unclear.
said the thing about like the scriptures, and that to me immediately is like
So this
okay,
is
then
this
it's
is the thing. This is the
religious.
thing. The ancients
Uh-huh.
aren't around anymore, and they have ancient literature, which Shinra has read, and that's why they got this planet. They got this promised land thing that they're interested in. Planetology is a more new age
Science-y thing.
belief in the energy of the life force of the planet that's not necessarily strictly tied in with whatever the religious beliefs of a group that lived a very long time ago held.
Okay.
We never get a copy in the game of like, we never like sit down and read a planetology book or read an ancient scripture. So I couldn't tell you I couldn't single out the specifics, but broadly that's the deal. I mean, yeah, so it's a weird thing where it's like there are religious beliefs surrounding it, but like, yes, the life stream is a thing in this setting.
Okay. Okay. All
I
right,
mean, like
cool.
we haven't seen like definitive proof of that, but like that's what the game.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the way
fine.
it is. They're correct.
Okay.
The Mako is the life stream. I'm spoiling that, I
That's
guess.
fine.
Ooh.
That's fine.
I don't think that's really a spoiler. I think we're supposed to take it. I think we're supposed to take Barrett at his word when he
we
tells
had
us
no
this at the
other
beginning of the
place
game.
to go,
Yeah.
and
I would never leave a wounded man out on the street.
Elmira, I know what you said, but you have to let us go after Aerith.
Not this again.
We found an underground Shinra lab, where they've done human testing. This wasn't the first time, and it won't be the last. I know these people, and I know they're never gonna let Aerith go. She's the last living ancient on the planet. Think about what that means to Shinra's scientists. Especially to that son of a bitch, Hojo.
Hojo?
We're all just numbers and meat to him.
Enough!
But...
We haven't mentioned Hojo yet. That's the first
Okay.
time he's been name dropped.
All right, cool. Thank you.
No worries.
'Cause I
Please.
have...
No
Hurry,
worries.
it's time to
Well, no,
think.
it's we've been doing this for like a year and a half.
You've all had a long day. Why don't you go upstairs and get some rest?
I suppose I could try that.
No buckets this time.
No buckets this time, no. Aerith isn't here to try and sabotage us leaving. Looks like somebody else has also left. But yeah, you think for a second, like, you know, oh yeah, they gave the bed to Biggs, but then to Wedge, but then you look at the bed and you're like, I'm not sure that Cloud or Barrett could fit in that bed.
Barrett definitely could not. I didn't realize, like, for real, how much bigger he was until he took Tifa's hand.
Yeah, took
and I was
Tifa's
just like,
hand.
Jesus.
Speaking of Tifa, what you doing out here?
Being a sad girl.
I'm really bad at reading the room. Is this like a I want to be alone time? You're gonna have to be very direct with me, Tifa. I'm on the spectrum.
She's listening to Taylor Swift.
Oh God.
I know she actually has had bad things happen, so she probably wouldn't appreciate it.
Can't sleep?
No. You too?
I heard footsteps.
Sorry. Didn't mean to wake you.
Way to make her feel bad.
I'm a light sleeper. It's a soldier thing.
That flower you gave me the other night? That was from Aerith, wasn't it?
Oh.
I knew there was something weird going on. You buying flowers? They symbolize reunion, believe it or not. I was curious, so I looked it up. I tried to keep it alive as long as I could. But now, it's dead and buried. Like the bar, our home, and everything else.
She wants a hug, Cloud. Hug her.
They took everything from us. Again.
Put your arms around her, you weirdo.
He hadn't spoken to a woman in years until he saw her a few days ago.
I would feel so awkward if I was just standing crying on a man and he did not put his arms around me. Absolute buffoon. There you go, buddy. Jeez.
Cloud.
Huh?
Cloud, you're hurting me. It's stupid.
He's so good at this.
I know
Yeah.
that crying's a waste of time.
Actually, it does a lot of things for the chemical
not
balances
true.
in your brain.
See, he
but
agrees with you.
That's fine.
Look, Cloud doesn't know much about hugging women, but he read the soldier manual about like you know, how to stay healthy and whatnot, and he knows that crying is actually useful.
The one thing Cloud knows about emotion.
You've done more for us than we
Now,
deserve.
actually,
I won't
that
forget
scene
this.
has an alternate
If you ever
scene.
need anything,
Okay.
There is a different scene we can get there.
Okay.
They're mutually exclusive though, so I have to go over to another file real quick.
I see.
You remember I've talked about the affinity system in this game.
Yeah.
And I've said, that if you do more side quests with Tifa, more side quests with Aerith, they get higher affinity. If you do all of them, it's the sewer, who you pick at the sewer is a tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. But if you do no side quests with either of them, then it defaults to Barret has the highest affinity. And
Interesting.
And if you have higher affinity with Barret, then you get a totally different scene here.
Go get some rest.
So most players won't see this unless they're just rushing through or they're doing a second playthrough and they're not bothering with the side quests.
And we just don't even look at the door.
Because there's no that door's closed because Tifa's in bed in this continuity.
Yes.
I had to go over to my my finished game file and on my old account and chapter hop and basically do the Sector 7 chapter and do the Sector 5 chapter and not do the side quests and then warp here. Which, by the way, that's why you can see a purple materia over there. And we're going to go ahead and just real quick pick up that purple materia and come back over here and talk to Barret.
You should rest up while you can.
Likewise.
No, I'm good. Real good. Besides, when I close my eyes, I start thinking about things.
Yeah?
About people. Like Finn. Lazy little punk. Kid would do damn near anything, except what you told him. But ask him to paint you a picture, and boy howdy. Those stamps in the tunnels? Finn's work. Every one.
That's a nice touch.
Then there's Al, intel guy. He had these tricks for stealing codes I still don't understand. Stole his share of hearts, too. But when it came to the ladies, he just had the one trick. Bouquet of flowers hidden behind his back. Funny to think, some of them might have even come from here. He pulled a flower trick on Tifa once, believe it or not. She told him where to stick 'em.
Of course she did.
Our quartermaster Nellie had a good laugh at that. She was tight with Jessie. People sometimes took them for sisters even. They'd say no way and get upset, but then they'd start giggling and, you know. Yeah, they'll all be fine. They're strong. They're tough. Like me. After we save Aerith, I'll introduce you to them.
Sounds good.
Huh. Never thought I'd feel better after talking with your hard-boiled ass.
I like the theme that's
Think
playing
you
right
can
now,
sleep now?
too.
Oh yeah, like a baby.
Yeah, this is a variation on the Avalanche theme. Fantastic.
You've done
Fantastic.
more for us than we deserve.
So anyway, also I should mention when he mentioned a guy named Al, the Codemaster, that was also not just the stamp guy. Al was also technically mentioned in literally the first episode. Jesse says, "It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the codes. Pity no one else at command will still talk to us, but what can you do?" Anyway, but now we can go back and see what happens after. Hold on, what's this? But there's no one else to talk to. Are we going to talk to Elmira? We're going to talk to Marlene, maybe?
Do not tell me that we talked to the cat.
So there's a third scene here, if you have high affinity with Aerith.
Okay. Whatever. She's ancient. And
She's magic. She teleported.
Yeah.
Rescue mission aborted. If you have high affinity, the rest of the game doesn't happen. Yay! And once again, because I'm on messing around with save files.
How is this?
Oh, wow.
Is
That's
this a
not
dream?
any of the other ones.
No, it's not, but I'm
Maybe.
pretty sure
You tell me.
that's meant to be the live stream over Sector 7.
You okay?
Oh, wow.
Don't I look it? I used to live in the Shinra building, back when I was really little.
Your mom told us.
Right. So it kind of feels like I've gone back to my childhood home, you know? Honestly, it's not that bad.
So what? You want to stay?
Come on, Cloud. Don't be silly.
Your mom's really worried too.
Two? So you're worried about me?
Of course I am.
We?
We?
I'm sorry about that. Really.
Is that?
So we've
Everyone
mentioned...
dies eventually.
All right.
I suppose.
So we need to make the most of the time we have. To live our lives the way we want to live. Every minute, every moment matters.
I'll remember that.
Very
Good.
existential of you, Aerith.
So...
You need to embrace this moment. Right?
I'm glad I met you, Cloud. I really am. I'm grateful for all the words we've shared, for all the moments and the memories. You've made me more happy than you know. And I'll always cherish what you've given me. But whatever happens, you can't fall in love with me.
Wow. What?
Even if you think you have, it's not real.
Do I get a say in all this?
Obviously not. She just told you you
It's
didn't.
almost morning. Time to go.
I'm coming for you.
If that's what you want. Thank you.
Wow. Okay.
So let's talk about those before we move on and watch the final scene real
Yeah.
quick.
So multiple times now we have mentioned praying.
Uh-huh.
So again, I guess the
Aerith has a connection to the world around her. She heard Elmira's like dead husband's
Yeah.
spirit or whatever. This, I'm going to be straight with you right now. Don't get too caught up on what is and is not religious ideology in this world, because it's almost never addressed. Like, she has that church that she hangs out in. We never see anyone worshiping there. We never hear anyone talking about what kind of religion that is a church to. It is never brought up.
Right.
That is an aesthetic church.
I see.
It's a little unclear. So I would say don't worry about that aspect of it too much.
Okay. I mean, I'm not like worried.
I would just say don't get too hung up on it.
I'm also at a point where like I don't know what's important and what's actual important information.
What's flavor and what's lore.
Right.
What's pertinent information.
And what's almost just like here, this is a thing to distract you while we do other stuff.
The pertinent information that you need right now is that we just saw all of the life energy flowing away from Sector 7.
Yeah.
We saw similar green lights when the ghosts of the kids finally passed on over. So like, I don't know why I was like, I didn't mean to play coy, but just like the game like doesn't like show you here's a spreadsheet that mathematically proves that the life stream is real, but the life stream's real. Life, when something dies, it does return to the planet, and that energy is redistributed somewhere else.
Okay.
And Mako being burned in the reactors, the concern of our characters is that is not going back to the planet. The reason that the soil is ruined around Midgar and that the soil becomes tarnished in other areas surrounding reactors is that the life force in the soil
is being sucked out.
Is being sucked out and burned away in a way that it does not reintegrate.
Back. Yeah.
This is the concern of our characters, which they basically say earlier on, but I'm telling you, they're right.
Okay.
They're correct.
All right.
As for religion, planetology, these are flavor words. It doesn't matter too much. Aerith is the last of the ancients. She can sometimes, it seems, hear and feel things. Not always.
Okay.
She's going and talking to the flowers in that one earlier scene, and whether she's being honest with us or not, she says she doesn't hear anything from them.
Yeah.
So is she saying to Cloud that no, I didn't hear anything because she doesn't want Cloud to think she's a freak? Or is...
She didn't hear anything from the flowers, but wherever else she's getting her information, like, may or may not be talking to her.
Oh crud, I was gonna say something else on that subject. Also, Aerith, people thinking she's a freak. We've got a little, well, do you remember in the graveyard, she had like a nightmare episode of being like, left behind and none of the other kids coming to see her, and she starts crying for her mom.
Yeah.
Which is probably her birth mother, not her, not Elmira.
Yeah.
That she was abandoned.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing where there's a tension with how they've written Aerith, where we see her here as an adult and she seems like a beloved member of the community.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, that Aerith, she's always making all those flowers. She's so sweet. But Aerith has always felt in her somehow apart from a lot of other people around her.
Gee, I wonder why. It's almost like you're an ancient mythical being.
This is part of why she says what she says to Cloud in her scene here, is that she has formed a real, like, she had a real important experience with him over the last 24 hours. Which, by the way, Aidan, you remember 7 episodes ago when I said the beginning of the craziest night of Cloud's life?
Yeah.
It only just ended.
Oh my
All of that was one night.
Lord. Oh my lord. That's a lot.
He was voguing 3 hours before all those people died.
Jeez.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, tonally, it's fine because you don't know what's coming. But I'm saying, like, that all of that stuff happened in one night. From trying to sneak out to whatever conversation you had in the garden was one evening. Wow. I think they're probably really tired.
Yeah.
But adrenaline's crazy. It keeps you going.
It is.
Anyway, talking about those 3 scenes, all 3 of them get me pretty close to crying pretty much every time that I watch them.
Yeah. Barrett's is really good.
Barrett's is fantastic, and the fact that it's the least seen one of the bunch
is a shame.
If you do even one additional side quest with either of the girls, you don't see his.
That's awful. And you can't. Didn't you like? You literally cannot.
You can't get them all on one playthrough. They're mutually exclusive.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying like the first time that you're playing the game. Can you plot without doing a single side quest?
You can't. Sorry, I should have said that you have to do at least one side quest with each of them. Like, that's mandatory to be able to continue,
Yes.
like to move on with the story. But if you do anything beyond that,
I see.
So you have to do at least one in order for them to say, "Do you want to head back now?"
Okay.
But yeah, so after that one, then you have to
I
do no
see.
more to get Barrett.
I gotcha. As I wiggle.
Yeah, I love that all three of them are very, very different. I mean, I guess
Yeah, they
Aerith's-
definitely are.
Tifa's and Barrett's are both like kind of them coping with what's just happened. Barrett's, but they both cope in extremely different ways. Tifa is not coping at all.
I mean,
Well, you know what I mean.
yeah. She's not grinning and bearing it.
Barrett has found something of like a something to reassure himself with.
Yes.
We're gonna keep going.
Everybody's tough.
We're
all gonna make it.
There are still people out there. It's not like I lost everybody who's important to me, especially now that he knows that Marlene is
Yes.
okay. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Tifa, again, they haven't discussed it in explicit terms. One of the first things we were told at the beginning of this game, the first time we saw Sephiroth, was about Cloud's hometown burning down.
Yes.
We saw, like, obviously Tifa's from the same town.
Yep.
We also saw like a flashback where
Them
she's
on the water tower saying
The-
that he was gonna take her on a date.
no. She asked for she said, I want someone to I want to experience being saved. She said, if you become a big famous soldier and I'm ever in trouble, I want you to come and save me. She basically said, I want a real world like knight in shining armor
Yeah.
princess fantasy once in my life.
Yeah.
And in the second Mako reactor bombing, Cloud has a flashback to Tifa like fallen down over. I'm pretty sure she identifies him as her father, but I don't think it's a spoiler to say she's standing over a dead body, crying. And she declares, Shinra, Sephiroth, soldiers, I'm sick of this. And she picks up a big sword and she walks off. And the flashback ends there, and Cloud says, it's like that time that I failed you. But we don't need to go any more detail on that. The main thing is their hometown burned to the ground. That's why she said they took everything from us again.
Yeah.
She lost everything when she was 15.
Okay.
And she moved here. And Jesse
Now
and
she's
Biggs and
lost
Wedge
it
and
again.
Barrett were the people who took her in, and she became part of this, and the slums were her home, and she's lost all of it again.
Yeah. Yup. Man, she's
having a hard time.
Extensive therapy.
Yes.
Like,
She does, yes.
so putting it in perspective like that, honestly, it's shocking that she's taking it as well as she is.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like, because losing it once sucks. Like, to like the shoes that Barrett's in of like, I did just lose a lot. Like, I didn't lose the most important person, but everything else.
Yep.
That's bad. But for that to be the second time that it's happened, and for her to feel like this time it's her fault for the actions that she's taken with Avalanche to like try and do the thing that she thinks is morally right, but she thinks has caused the retaliation of dropping the plate.
Yeah.
Like,
Another reason, by the way, that I like the flavor change of turning it into Shinra is deliberate, is this cumulative thing of false flag operations.
Yes.
As opposed to, like, it's not really discussed, like, who they blame in the original game. It's just they did that to try and kill Avalanche, and we don't really, there's not enough time spent with chattering NPCs to hear, like, the public, discourse on it, really.
Right.
Because the immediate concern after that happens is, let's go fucking kill them and get Aerith back.
Yeah.
You don't really have, like, you're not walking around town and hearing NPCs chattering about, I think Avalanche did that. Did Shinra do that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not the way that game's presented.
Right.
I think one of the things you get with this added thing is one of the last things Jessie says is they all died because of my bombs.
Yep.
Because she still thinks that was her
Yeah.
fault. She dies thinking that was her fault.
Yep. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Which, I mean, I guess she's returned to the planet, so, like...
Also,
she
by the
doesn't
way,
care
her mom
anymore.
and dad have returned to the planet because they lived on the top side of the Sector 7 plate.
Ooh, gee. I thought her dad... No, he's
Well,
on, like,
he was
life
in a
support
coma
or whatever.
She was theorizing that maybe his spirit is somewhere between here and there,
Yeah.
and that's why he hasn't like passed on.
I see.
But like he was in a vegetative state.
Yeah.
Point is, both of them are dead.
Yeah.
Probably their bodies are broken into a million pieces and buried under concrete, and like so many other people.
Yeah.
But just pointing out other people who you may not think about being dead. I was talking about people in the slums. Maybe not enough identifiable NPCs, but we did meet Jessie's mom.
Yeah.
And she's gone.
Yup.
Anyway,
Jeez.
fun game. Good game. And Aerith's cutscene. is fantastic.
Yeah.
I really like it. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
And some of it I can't talk about.
The whole, like, you can't fall in love with me thing, even if you think you already have, it's not real. Like, that, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't like it, but I didn't love that.
So I'm going to defend that one a little bit.
Okay.
Barretts and Aeriths are very much, if you're just playing this for the first time,
Yeah.
you got it all.
Yep.
You can track it all, basically.
Yeah.
You may, if you're not paying attention, have missed the detail about Cloud and Tifa's hometown being destroyed. But as long as you caught that, you got it all.
Yeah.
Aerith's is the most loaded.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the right word. That
Nuanced, maybe?
that scene is about things that we don't know about Aerith yet.
I see.
That is a lot of
Oh, so is it like you don't know the real me? Like, I'm a monster and you haven't seen all the sides of me, and so you can't love me, Cloud?
No, don't worry about that.
Okay,
no.
all
No,
right.
it is not going to be, I'm an ancient, you're normal, we can't be together
All
even though I'm
right.
biologically identical in all
Okay.
ways that matter. No, it's not going to be that.
Good.
But no, that scene is, I mean, it's a little bit about stuff that we can track right now, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's telling us a little. It was giving us one of our first really explicit outlines of kind of Aerith's worldview.
Okay.
With her, you have to seize this moment. You comment about
Yeah.
her being very existential in that
Yeah.
moment. That is, we're learning a little bit about her inner self in that scene, but not everything.
Okay.
That scene tracks differently when you know everything there is to know about Aerith.
I see.
But it is not, no, I'm a monster, so we can't be together.
That's fine.
It is at its most basic level, it is, Cloud, I really don't want you to storm the Capitol building by yourself, just to try and get me.
Yeah.
That's like the uppermost layer that's I can just talk about, because that's basically what she says.
Yeah.
She's like, she tries to reassure him, no, I'm fine.
I'm in my childhood home.
Don't worry about it.
Which also was like, ooh, there's some trauma there.
Yes.
like,
and then she gets out and she still doesn't feel normal and apparently felt left behind by people.
Yeah.
But no, so everybody's trucking around tons of trauma in this game. Everybody's collecting trauma like collectible cards.
Funnily enough, actually, I think while I was sitting here earlier, like doing sound tests or whatever, I opened somebody's like Snap story, and they had posted an image of a bag. I don't know if they saw it in person or if they just like saw it on the internet. I didn't pay enough attention, but the bag itself said emotional baggage. JK, it wouldn't all fit in here anyway. So when you were like, everybody's trucking around trauma,
there's a lot of emotional damage to go around in this
Yeah.
game. And we're not going to get to unpack all of it in part one.
No.
But you wouldn't expect, because it's a long story. And,
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, so no, there's a lot going on with Aerith that's stuff we can't really break into just yet. It's the least straightforward of those three. However, all three of them are really good, really important scenes. This was one of the most, like, when this game came out, I was like texting anybody I knew who was playing it, being like,
which scene did you
I was like, just so you know, when you get to this part, text me, because I'm gonna have to send you some links, because like these are not missable material.
Yeah.
they're really important character moments.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, imagine missing that Barrett scene. How much that feels like a. That's the first time that Cloud and Barrett have had like a moment of standing together and just like talking to each other like that. And it's really important, because we're not going to refer back to any three of these scenes, but they're all important emotional like points for our relationships between these two characters.
For sure, absolutely.
But God, I guess the last thing I'll say about those scenes is the bit in the Aerith. So first of all, the score in all three of them is fantastic. Their arrangements of their character themes.
Okay.
I said the Avalanche theme before. It's Barrett's theme, though I think they mix in a bit of the new Avalanche theme into it. It's mostly an arrangement of Barrett's theme, arrangement of Tifa's theme, arrangement of Aerith's theme.
Yeah.
But the music in all three of them are fantastic. But the single like piano strikes at the very ending of Aerith's scene, and the shots on her and Cloud where he says, "I'm coming for you," and she looks back. And she's like momentarily distressed, and then smiles and says, "If that's what you want, thank you."
Yeah.
There's that part I will discuss, which is there's a part of her that even though she's trying to tell him not to do this,
Yeah.
she can't help but be touched by the fact that
He wants to.
he wants to anyway.
Yeah.
God, this game's really good. This game's really good.
See, even
Without like the larger context, that still reads. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Is
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
need to know everything. The scene still works.
yeah, like you can absolutely. I mean, if you're observant and familiar
Yeah.
with humans,
Yeah,
you know,
if you're
like,
if you're taking the game dramatically seriously and you're
Right.
keying into what's happened
Yeah.
so far, that this thing that started as like Aerith was like, you kind of remind me of someone,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to see if I can't get some information out of you about it. But this somehow turned into like a much more important experience,
Yeah.
not only for her but also for Cloud.
Yeah.
That he's saying, yeah, I'm going to come get you out of there. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you say to me.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And so, like,
I also hope you're starting to see, I think I may have already said this, I hope you're starting to see why there's been a 20-year shipping war about this game.
okay, so that was gonna be my next question.
Uh-huh.
Is like, at this point, I cannot tell which one I'm supposed to like.
Oh, you mean you're supposed to like both of them, let's be clear.
Right, yes, sure, obviously, but there's
You can't tell if there's a favored
right
canon answer as
right,
yet. Okay.
right, yes, which probably says some just huge amount about the complete lack of knowledge I have about the series.
Also, I would say the quality of the writing, that there isn't a favorability between the two of them.
I think in my brain, I want you to go with Tifa because she wants you more.
Uh-huh.
Like just in terms of, I have been a young girl with an attachment to a man and been like, if you like, we grew up together, I've known you for a long time, we've reunited, and so obviously I'm supposed to be with you. Like, I've been in those shoes.
Sure.
And having that crushed is awful. So like, don't do that to her. But also,
Don't leave her hanging on that hug
Yeah.
for 30 seconds.
but
Cloud is really awkward. That was the
He
first time he had been
is.
touched by a girl in a very long time.
I guess, man, I don't know. He's pulling hands all over the place as he's like
No,
trying
yeah,
to
I
keep
know,
them
yeah, he's
from
grabbing
dying.
everybody's hands. No, I was
Like-
joking around. Yeah, no, he's grabbed each of their hands like 3 dozen times over the last 2 days. Yeah, no, I was just teasing.
But so like, I think from my own personal experience and bias, I'm like, that's the one you go with. But it has nothing to do with the actual information I've been
I'll tell
presented.
you my feelings on this.
It's Aerith, right?
I'm a Cloud and Tifa shipper because that means I get Aerith all to myself.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was like, I thought Aerith was your favorite out of the two, but that makes sense.
But no. I don't want to comment on like the broader shipping war because there's a lot of story ahead of us, obviously, and a lot more. But what I will say is, we were talking about this last time around. Your comment of like, "Yay, we're best friends. We're not fighting over the same guy." I like that here, where we do expand the script, and they do have more time to actually talk to each other. They don't go the lazy route.
Yeah.
The only moment of tension between the two of them, on Tifa being like, "What's going on between them?" was when you wake her up in the sewer. She's like, "So what's going on between you two exactly?" And when they're in the train graveyard, and Aerith like grabs his arm and says, and she's like possessively goes, "He's my bodyguard."
Yeah.
Then Tifa has like a moment. She's like, how do I insert myself into this?
Yeah.
But that's been it. Otherwise, they've actually been Tifa's also like on board with, we need to go and
Yeah.
get Aerith out of there.
It stung a little, I think, again, because of personal bias and experience of being like, you gave me a flower from this other chick that you like definitely just spent a lot of time with.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening right now, Cloud? And
That's a fun detail. I love that they added that. I don't remember Tifa ever like finding out or commenting on the origin of the flower in the original game.
I like a small pit in my stomach was just like, oh no. But I don't know exactly.
She brushes it off a little bit by saying, "I should have known. It's not much like you getting flowers from people."
Yeah.
Also, she's got bigger emotional fish to fry in that exact moment.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I didn't like that. I understand that it's not supposed to be comfortable, but I didn't like it a lot.
Yeah, the flower is an interesting thing. The detail about it being symbolizing reunion was added in Remake.
Okay.
And that's clearly meant to be not only to add some extra oomph to him giving it to Tifa, but also because it's a remake.
Okay.
So it's not just
Yeah.
him giving it to Tifa in the story. It's also from a metatextual standpoint.
Yes.
It's Aerith and Cloud here at the beginning of the game 20 years later or whatever, 25 years
see.
later.
That's fun, actually.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's very nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that this is an advantage of, normally I don't, we're watching these tapes,
Yeah.
but here I was like, I actually want to pause the tape and I'll just edit in footage afterwards. I wanted to stop and be able to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
We've got one more cutscene and then we're done with this episode.
Okay.
Unless you had anything else you wanted to add before I hit play.
No, I don't think so.
Alrighty. We'll have another cutscene of stuff to talk about anyway. Though not that much stuff, because we just kind of did a whole discussion of the game, honestly.
More for us than we deserve.
Or at least of our main characters.
Forget this. If you ever need anything, all you gotta do is holler.
Assuming another plate
Happy
doesn't
to
fall
help.
off.
Yeah, assuming they don't drop a plate on you too.
Elmira,
I've been thinking about what you said.
she's calling out to me. I can feel it.
We all can. So please.
No, Tifa, I meant like literally.
She's our friend.
Yeah.
I was talking to her last night.
I always knew it was coming. Knew that one day I'd have to say goodbye to my baby girl. But not yet. Please, bring her back to me.
We will do our best.
Daddy!
Marlene,
Are you going?
I love the little background detail of Tifa being like, Cloud, let's go outside.
sorry,
Let's give them
honey.
some space.
I wish I didn't have to. I wish I could be with you all the time. I really do. But if I stay here, I can't fight out there.
She's so little.
Some bad people are trying to hurt the planet. And Daddy and his friends are trying to stop those bad people. The slums, your friends, the whole planet. It's Daddy's job to protect it. And that's why I've got to go. You remember that nice girl who came to find you? Well, now we have to go find her. And when we bring her home, you need to say thank you, okay?
Okay. That girl, she was kinda...
What?
nothing. You should help her.
We will.
You'll come back, right?
Of course, I promise.
No, don't do that.
Don't raise death flags, Barrett.
Okay.
A lot of people have already died. We don't know what the rules are in this story.
For real.
Barrett.
She's tougher than me.
Putting on my glasses so you can't see me cry.
Right.
I love that
Time to
line.
get some payback.
Don't forget why we're doing this.
I know. To rescue Aerith.
I want to give a lot of props to John Bentley, who voices Barrett. It's hard to
How
do
are we supposed to
this
get
kind of
the house
exaggerated comic
With
voice and do
everything that's
emotional
happened
reads at the
since
same
we've
time.
Yeah.
been running?
Well, we could walk along the tracks.
The city's on high alert. All the roads and public transit have probably been locked down by now.
So what's the plan then? You know another way up?
No, but I think I know someone who might.
You mean Corneo?
No, doing a silly voice like this, but still being able to do she's tougher than me and I wish I could be with you all the time
Yeah.
with that much emotion in your voice
Yeah.
is hard.
Oh, I'm sure.
Anyway, there's another purple orb, but we'll find out what that is on the next episode.
Yay!
Anything else you want to say at the end? I think that can be the end if you want. Unless you have any comments about that scene, then I can just edit it in.
It's good. It's good. There's the tiniest suspicious, like, constantly overthinking everything
About that last scene?
Yeah, that's like, is Marlene also a little weird? because we've seen her because she's tiny, and we've not because she's tiny. She just is tiny, and she does not look anything like Barrett. So I mean, maybe like that's not his biological daughter, and we don't exactly.
I'll point something out to you.
Okay.
Last episode, Elmira says she's not really my daughter, not by blood anyway.
Yeah.
And it rack focuses to Barrett, and he goes,
You're right.
Kind of strokes his beard a little bit.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep. And she and Aerith seemed like they had a weird connection happening.
Something did happen. Something happened when they touched each other.
And I don't know that it was necessarily like good, but something happened. And she just seems, and then her making the comment about Aerith, like
Something happened there.
there's something. I don't know what it is, but I'm acknowledging that it ain't normal.
No, you're correct. You're correct. Something happened. Something went on when they touched each other a couple episodes ago. You are correct. Anyway, I believe that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
All right. Next time, everybody. Next time we begin what's probably going to be like 4 or 5 episodes of side quests.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I don't mind the side quests in this game for the most part. Here is their last opportunity before let's go rescue Aerith. They're like, okay, we've got a big map now. Like you got Sector 5 and Wall Market, and let's do one last run around and optional content. And I think there's maybe a little bit too much of it.
I see.
I haven't shot any of these episodes yet. I'm going to do my best to trim them down.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, see you guys next time, everyone.
All right.